Hello everyone! This time we had the chance to speak to Brekeriet, one of the three brothers who run and own Brekeriet Brew. Lots about sours on the menu today, and don't forget that if you sign on as a Patreon, you get lots of extra material and actually this entire interview on film, as well as chances to win cool merchandise. So lean back and enjoy. Hello everybody and welcome to Beer Bubbles, the bubbliest podcast in the world. We're sitting here with a guest today. Rasmus is here as per usual.
Yay.
Hey. And Brekeriet, all the way down from Landskrona in Skåne.
Yes.
Who are you and what are you doing here in the podcast?
I'm one of three brothers running Brekeriet beer in Landskrona, south of Sweden, quite close to Copenhagen, a small city. And we have been, we've had a company together since 2010, and in 2012 we started the brewery where we actually produce the beer. So we started as a beer import company, and with the financial gain of the import company, we managed to start the brewery ourselves. And this year we're celebrating 10 years. So it's
congratulations!
Thank you. The three brothers are still getting along.
And that's where the name comes from.
Yeah,
brothers. Ek.
Brothers Ek, and then the end pronunciation of.
I think that's the most impressive thing.
Yeah,
three brothers getting along that far.
Yeah, I've realized that people ask us question about how we managed to do it, because they couldn't start a company with their siblings. But I guess we have same goals and same ambitions, same thoughts about things. But I guess if you start with a couple of friends instead, you might have better input from different directions and stuff. So that's our vulnerability, I guess.
On the other hand, the strength you have is
you
can't get rid of your brother.
No, it's blood blood related. So it works really good.
So what was the inspiration of starting to make mixed fermentation and sour beers?
Actually, when we tried to find beers to import to Sweden, we tried to find niche products. We imported Kölsch from Cologne, of course, as the first beer, and then we traveled around Belgium and northern France to find other beers, mostly saisons and stuff. Yeah, we worked with three or four breweries, and when we imported one batch from one of the breweries, the whole batch was infected with Brettanomyces wild yeast, and we really liked the saison, and we thought it was intended to be wild fermented, but it wasn't. So when we got the next batch, it was a clean, also very good saison, but not with the Brett, and that was. But we marketed the beer as Brett saison. Yeah, when we realized that we really like this beer, and it's very, at that time, not represented in Sweden, we wanted to produce that ourselves, and from the beginning we had the thought of starting the brewery. So by then, Christian, my brother, one of my brothers, a home brewer from the start, he started to brew solely with the wild yeast to find the recipes for the beers we were going to launch when with the brewery.
But Christian is really the yeast geek.
Yeah, he's a food scientist and worked with food science since he graduated. So he's the one with the knowledge of
you were the
product
first.
itself.
You were the first when it comes to mixed fermentation in Sweden. I'd say the first that did it intentionally.
Yeah,
at least.
yeah, intentionally and
with some kind of goal.
and maybe with some kind of goal, like only wild fermentation. So I guess a couple of breweries may have released products with wild yeast, but only like one batch, and we started with the goal to only produce beers with wild yeast and make it something big.
But what is mixed fermentation? What does that mean?
Mixed fermentation, I guess I don't know the definition itself, but wild fermentation for us is when you use both wild yeast or yeast and bacteria. So, for example, we use wild yeast in all of our beers, but in all of our beers. But we also have beers aged in barrels, and those are infected with lactoacid bacteria, same as many of the Belgian beers.
So you mix them between the lacto and the
yeah,
wild
I would
yeast,
say
the
that's close to the definition if you read it on Milk the Funk, for example. It might be a mix between Saccharomyces and Brettanomyces as well, but I guess the correct term would also involve bacteria.
So, what is your bestseller? What's the thing that sells the most? What's your bread and butter in the brewery?
At the moment, it's our Christmas beer, Lucelele. We brew this year. We brewed 24,000 liters of it. But of course, it's released once a year, and then it's out in 2 months. So that's, at the moment, it's a big seller, but we only produce it before Christmas. We have a couple of others we produce all year round. For example, Sour and Salt. We also have upstairs, and Pink Passion, our gluten-free.
The gluten-free one, yeah.
Yeah, the Sour and Salt has been with you for a long time, right? That was one of your.
Yeah, I think we brewed
the
first one in 2016 maybe.
I must say the Lucelele is kind of cool, because I remember the first time you launched it and you ran out right away.
Yeah, it was just a crazy experiment, and
it's a sour with saffron.
Yeah, a kettle sour with saffron, 6.5%, really juicy and fresh, and not the typical Christmas beer maybe, but I guess a lot of the classical Christmas beer tends to get quite heavy, and this is totally on the other spectra where it would actually suit quite well to Christmas food. But a beer that mostly sells in Sweden because of the combination saffron and Christmas is only like a Swedish thing.
People think Lucebulle.
Yeah.
But what is your favorite beer that you made?
It's very hard to say.
You gotta have like a love child when it comes to the beers you produced.
Yeah, I really like our Gåses Sour and Salt is very versatile beer. You can combine it with the food, and you can drink it separately.
Well.
Yeah,
it's highly quenchable because you almost get like it's a thirst quencher, but you get thirsty drinking.
Yeah. And there's quite a lot of salt, and it's 4.6% ABV, so it's very nice to just drink, but as I said, it's also a nice beer for food.
But now we're just sitting here and talking. Well, we have 3 beers standing in front of us.
Well, I'm just gonna put down my mic and start opening beers. Which should we start with?
It's 3 barrel-aged beers. This one is bottled in 2018, and it's been ages since I had it, so I can't really say
We should put that last then.
no, put that last because I think it's the
That's
most flavor.
Should we start with that
yeah,
one then?
That
Yeah.
sounds reasonable.
But I can ask, three brothers, who does what in the brewery?
Christian, as I mentioned, the middle brother, he's a head brewer, so he's the one having everything with the product, like the development of the products, also buying the ingredients and also handling everything with the organic certifications and everything that has to do with the beer.
Running production,
Yeah,
basically, yeah.
I'm the youngest one. I'm actually production manager. I don't really know what that means, but I try to have the overall
Control, or
control from the start of the production to the beer is ready for sales. So I buy all the like the cans, empty cans, and everything that has to do with when the beer is ready for packaging, and also I have some sales. Also have the social media and webpage thingy.
And Frederick's just the grumpy guy going to all the fairs.
Frederick is the oldest brother, and he has mostly the economics. He's warehouse management together with me. Also quite a lot of more sales than me, but smaller accounts.
I've got to ask you because, well, cheers first. Cheers. But it's so complex. That's the thing. It's so much happening. What I was going to ask you is, do you like set a date? This beer should be ready then, or do you like try it and go, it's good now. Let's take it. Let's bottle it, or let's.
It depends. If it's a beer that we will offer Systembolaget, we have a deadline, and with all the beers in the Wild series, the oak fermented beers, we blend every beer. We do test blends, and when we have maybe 3 test blends, we decide which one we will go for, and then we blend it as a big batch. So Natur, as we're drinking now, we wanted to present a very exclusive beer, but packaging-wise and sales-wise have a quite cheap beer for more people to dare to try it.
It is quite complex.
Yeah, but the packaging itself makes it cheaper to produce. Yet it's the same base beers as we do in the other ones, but not as exclusive and maybe scary with a higher price for the random guy or girl to just grab a bottle and dare to try it.
So you want people to try good stuff without paying shitloads of money.
Yeah, because of course all these 3, they're not very high in price, but of course if you have other ingredients such as berries or such, it tend to raise the price, of course.
But what is the big difference between the Wild series and your normal stuff? Because you do straight kettle sours. You also do like Brettanomyces, wild yeast. I've been to the brewery. I know there's actually 2 separate breweries on your location.
Yeah, not breweries itself, but fermentation areas. I would say where we have stainless steel tanks in one, where we produce the fast producing beers, the core beers. Yet we have 6 weeks on fermentation tank with the Brettanomyces working quite slowly, but giving very pleasant results. And then we have another 2 or 3 weeks in bottle to build the carbonation. And that's only kettle sours. So we soured the wort with lactic acid bacteria, and then after a couple of days we kill off the bacteria, pasteurize the wort, and then we ferment it with Brettanomyces.
Hence mixed fermentation.
Yeah. So you have a sour beer, but there's no live bacteria. A lot of breweries in Sweden do this, but they don't have the Brett, which gives another level of complexity to the beer. Whereas the Wild series is all barrel fermented. Now we have beer in barrels for at least a year before we blend it and package it. And there we have more of the usual way of brewing. Like we boil the wort, we cool it and transfer it straight to barrels. Earlier we added harvested bacteria cultures and added to the wort, but now we take a small amount of the wort, spontaneously ferment it, and then we add it to the barrels the day after. We don't add any cultures since 2 years back. But of course all the barrels is reused, so of course we have a lot of activity in the barrels because we don't steam them or clean them. We clean them with hot water, but still there's a lot of microorganisms left in them.
I gotta say, the natur smells.
Yeah, you can.
I'm thinking about Chenin Blanc, like the grape.
Yeah,
it's
there's
very, like this white wine,
quite nice
kind of feeling,
but also some, I think, bourbon barrel notes. But yeah, the like the fruitiness from both from the vanilla notes from the barrels, but also some fruitiness from the.
I think that adds to the Chenin Blanc kind of feeling you get with the yeast. Oh yeah, that's corked. Well, we'll hop that one.
So we sadly got a cork defect beer, but that's what you get from working with live beers. It's like we actually talked about it earlier.
Damn you, TCA bacteria.
And it's quite obvious in this one.
Yeah.
So
we'll try it upstairs later.
Yeah. Hopefully this was just it's very rarely we have this kind of problems, but it's
you can't control it. Like if the TCA gets in, it gets in.
Yeah.
It's
so it's bottled in April 2018. The
Let's see if we can get
Nuttall
it.
we drank before was bottled December a year ago.
And now we're going for the Surbon.
Yeah, so Bon is it's the
Different
newest
bourbon
batch.
barrels, yeah.
It's a year old.
that is not corked.
November 2021.
That smells beautiful.
Yeah.
Let's say cheers with an uncorked.
Uncorked one. Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, well, the first one was light on the palate and but still complex but easy accessible.
Yeah.
This is much more happening.
Yeah, and that's why I thought this would we would end with this one. Unfortunately, we could.
We just have to try a bottle up in the bar instead.
Look at it this way. Now a guest doesn't have to get a cork.
Yeah, but I'm afraid
one bottle out of everyone would be corked.
I'm afraid now more bottles is, but I doubt it.
We'll see what happens.
That bacteria is not usually in every bottle. It's just very rarely, unless you don't have it in the brewery.
Yeah.
But I don't think you do.
But this is the 5th batch we made in the Wild program. So we started in May 2017, I think. So this is the 5th batch being bottled, whereas this one, fairly new. It's the 51.
I must
batch
say,
51. Blend 51.
One of my absolute favorites when it comes to your beers is the Bruin.
Which one?
The Bruin. You made.
Yeah.
We had it at Älghjärtat when we worked there. And we kind of hid it away so we could drink it ourselves. We didn't sell that many of them.
Don't admit that.
That's a good thing.
We sold loads of them to ourselves.
But
so the Sarban is, it's very... the complexity is similar to them, but taste-wise they're quite different. Even though the the bacteria. Of course, in the Sauron we only have bourbon barrels. In Naturis there is mixed, I think, both foeder wine barrels and bourbon barrels.
You get almost a honey note on the nose to it. It's like really, really
As I
nice
said,
and
like
sweet on the nose.
mine. Might be my sommelier past, but like these ones, the Chenin Blanc grape is a perfect example of how this smells. Like it's more of a maltier type of Chenin Blanc with all the complex abilities that it has. Because when you age a Chenin Blanc, it gets these honey tones, and that's a compliment.
Well, brings me to the next
delicious.
question. Actually, maturability of your beers. If someone buys a Brekeriet beer, could they keep it, or should they drink it right away?
I would say which
Could
series
you say like keep the wild series and drink the other ones, or
you can keep the other ones as well. There's no, of course, now the past couple of years we've made a couple of dry hopped both kettle sours and also barrel aged sours. Those are of course better to drink fresh, as they were intended to taste when we decided to do the blend. But we have 10 years shelf life on the Ville series and 2 years in the cans. When we had bottles in the only Brett beers, we had 5 years. So, but it doesn't get spoiled with age. I would say the wild yeast conservate it quite well, and
what it is
with Lucelele, for example, we recommend people to at least save 1 or 2 cans, earlier bottles, to try with a new batch next year, because there's quite a lot happening in the bottles and cans over the year. So we like the 1 year old version better than the ones being released now.
I mean, I can see the Sauerburn getting like 5-6 years.
Yeah, I think
I can see a lot of fun stuff happening to that one.
Yeah, with the Ville series, we also always recommend people to buy at least 2 bottles. Not.
we'll just have to buy a couple of Surbon and put here in the basement.
I might as well.
That would be nice. This batch is, I think, really good. Of course, the first batch we made, the barrels were not being used before, only for beer, only for
whiskey.
Yeah, we didn't got them from a bourbon distillery, but they have been used at another brewery for imp stouts, I think.
Okay.
Maybe 1 or 2 batches, and then but the bourbon flavors or notes were really really heavy in the first and second batch. Now it's slightly getting off, but I think it's more delicate now, with more balanced with the sourness, and
it's really in tune with the beer. I'd say it's like because if this
it
would have had more
overwhelm.
vanilla and stuff like that would overwhelm the beer.
Yeah.
But this is just it's spot on. I really like this one.
I really do too. It's.
I can't say how many batches we made of Sauerborn, but maybe 5 or 6. The name, of course, comes from bourbon and Sauerborn, sour beer, so Sauerborn, and that was because in the beginning you could really sense the bourbon notes. Now we've kept the name because it's
the same beer.
It's the same beer, but the barrels have been used many more times.
Now going forward, because we're soon gonna go upstairs, and you're gonna be here for what you're supposed to be here for. What is the future of Brekeriet? How do you see the brewery developing during the years to come?
At the moment, we're actually looking at new facilities with a tap room where we can meet the customers and talk to them face to face instead of going through Systembolaget or a restaurant or bar. You can see the brewery and we can have tastings and stuff. We're not allowed to have that at the moment. So hopefully we will sign a lease within a couple of months and move there, start the tap room in half a year maybe.
We're really looking forward to that because we are going down to Brewskaval next year as well.
Yeah, then we will definitely have the at least the tap room open, but maybe not the brewery site yet.
But it's about 35 minutes on the train from Helsingborg, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
We'll be there.
Then of course it's a short bus ride, but within half an hour you could go from our place to Brewski.
So an open invitation, that's what you're saying.
Yeah, of course. You're always welcome.
But tap rooms is really happening now in Sweden. I know I was at Craft Brews Conference in the US 2017 or 18, I think. And I went to a seminar about what the impact of tap rooms are. And everyone who had one was raving about it, going, this is, before we started it, we didn't realize how much this would do. And
now, of course,
now it's really starting to happen here in Sweden as well.
You can, product-wise, you can sell the beer with the shortest amount of time. No packaging, just from serving tank to...
Your daughter wants to talk to us as well. You're gonna say shout out to your daughter.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Tula.
Yeah. Hi, Tula. No, we're not going to keep your dad for too long, I promise.
2 more minutes.
2 more minutes.
He's got the hardest question left.
We'll just do the last question right away. So you can get back to Tula and we can get back to the bar.
Yeah.
You'll do it.
I'm sorry, Andre, but you're going to die right now. But you can have one more beer before you go. Whatever you want, whatever you had in your life, one more time. What are you having?
Yeah.
It is a tough question.
Yeah.
Yep.
I wouldn't go for a sour beer. I would probably go for something more drinkable, like a Pilsner. Maybe Rothaus, Tannenzäpfle.
Tannenzäpfle. Oh,
the clearest beer in the world.
Yeah, it's a very nice Pilsner, I think. Especially when you go to Germany and you find it at quite a lot of places, I think, and you're always like the beers are the ice are just I have to have that one.
I gotta say that's the toughest beer to put on tap, because when you have it on water tap line and you take out the beer, like when is the beer coming? Oh fuck, there's the beer. I'm gonna stop because it's so clear. You can't see the difference between the water and the beer, basically.
It's been a couple of years since I had it, but I remember it as I also have.
We had it about 6 months back here on tap.
I think even less than that.
Did you like it?
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah. Lovely. Crisp, clean fucking pills.
And actually, 2 years ago, I contacted the importer of Rothaus here in Sweden, and he sent us 2 cases of it. He wanted us to have it just as
you were worth it.
Yeah. So that was a really nice
Andrea,
gesture.
Thank you very much for participating in the podcast, and
thank you for having me.
Have a great night, and
I will.
Let's go up to the bar.
Yeah, sure.
And whatever you do, guys, drink better beer. That's it for this time, but in the next episode, me and Rasmus are going to talk about being a beer tender. If you would like to help us produce more fun podcasts, please check out our Patreon, where you can also get lots of extra material and chances to win cool merchandise. Thanks to our sponsors, Elite Hotels, Bishop Arms and Brekeriet, and whatever you do, drink better beer.